There's some important questions that you might want to ask the audiologist when your child is being evaluated and treated for a hearing loss. The first one is, how do we even test hearing for a baby or a child? We have different methods to test hearing depending on the age. Babies are tested when they're asleep. We check how their hearing nerve is working and how they hear. Once a child is about 6 months old, we'll go in the sound booth and see if they turn to sound and reinforce them with a light-up toy. When they're a little bit older, we do a play task. So they might hold a ring up and wait for the sound and put the ring on when they hear it. And just playing the game is the reinforcement. As they get a little bit older, maybe around age 4 or 5, we transition to a computer game where they get to smack a button when they hear the beep, and then something changes on the computer. And then from there, as the kids get older, we decide when to transition to just the typical hearing test you might think of, where you press the button for the beep. Unfortunately, we typically can't. Even if we know the cause of the hearing loss, we may not know if it will get worse or how quickly it might get worse. That's why we test hearing so often. So we test hearing initially every 3 months or so until kids become school age, and then we transition to maybe every 6 months, and eventually around the age of 5 or 6 we move into yearly hearing tests, and unless something changes where we need to test them more often. So while often we can't predict if hearing is getting worse, we can follow your child very closely to know if there's a change and make adjustments to their hearing aids or their overall treatment plan for that. A hearing aid helps because it gives them sound. It gives sound back. And our goal with hearing aids is to make speech audible or allow them to hear talking so that they can learn too how to talk. So if a family's goal is for a child to primarily speak for communication, then we program the hearing aid so that the child can hear all the different speech sounds. Many parents wonder, how will this hearing loss affect their child's life, especially their overall development and their development of speech and language. A hearing loss can affect a child's ability to learn how to talk, and therefore can affect their ability to learn speech and language skills. And so we work with the family and other members of a team, like a speech pathologist, for example, to try to make speech audible again and help a child develop speech and language skills. There are many different things that can cause hearing loss, and parents and the ear, nose, and throat physician may decide to investigate the cause of the hearing loss, but a child can be born with hearing loss. It can be something that is genetic. It can be something that is caused by an infection. Sometimes there are temporary hearing losses caused by having fluid in the ear, for example. And medications can even cause hearing loss. So there are many different causes, and the family and the ear, nose, and throat doctor will decide if investigation of the cause needs to happen or not. These 5 questions are good questions for parents to ask their audiologist. However, these are just the beginning. There are many other good questions that families and parents might have about their child's diagnosis of hearing loss, and we are here to answer those questions for you. So we are here to not only determine how your child is hearing, but answer questions any and every time you have them along the way. What I've found is many people have questions even a couple years after their child is first diagnosed with hearing loss, and that is completely okay. We're here to answer any questions as they pop into your mind.